Welcome back to the Big Screen Bros podcast. It's your boy Chaos King. We got Ash, we got Rock, and this week we went back in time like 8, 9, 10 months ago when the Blue Beetle movie came out, and oh my gosh, it is what we needed for representation of Latins in America. I felt so seen when I saw this movie. Oh my gosh.
Bro, don't claim my people.
Look, our people, okay? Our people. I'm practically one of y'all sometimes. Look, every song, Rock, you were singing it. Every
because
show,
they do songs from Puerto Rico.
Bro. Here's one thing I will tell you. This was a movie about Hispanic and Latino people, and they didn't show anyone do any job. The only one who did the job were the kids.
I mean, look. Technically, the dad was like,
They basically are saying like these people are coming to our country, not doing any work, living on our food stamps.
so technically speaking, a lot of the older people in this movie were illegal immigrants. Yes,
What? Where did you get that from?
they literally said the dad,
said
the
that.
mom, the grandma, the uncle,
Yeah, and the dad, they were all illegal.
literally all the neighbors. Why do you think no one called the police? That was the whole point. They said this at the beginning.
I didn't pay attention when they said they were there illegally.
I know you're too busy singing along to the songs.
Yeah.
Despacito, Puerto
They
Rico.
didn't put Despacito, bro. They couldn't afford
Bro,
Despacito.
look, you were singing that song.
No, I was singing Atrévete by Calle 13.
Yeah,
That's a
your
different
name.
one.
You were as soon as the beat started, you were like, "Oh my god, I love this song!
No,
I listened
dude,
to it when I was a little."
he's a Puerto Rican artist, and he's a good Puerto Rican rap artist, too.
Hey,
One of the few good ones.
I know, I love that dude.
You don't know that. You probably only know Bad Bunny, and he sucks.
I only know Bad Bunny from WWE. Now I've never listened to his music.
Oh, yeah, I want to clarify. I'm probably going to shit on this movie a lot, but I'm Latino, so I can get away with it, all right?
Me
Because I'm
too.
going to say, no, you're not. All right? But I'll give you a pass. Un pase, Latino, okay?
See, so this movie came out last year. It's about Blue Beetle. You know the scarab on his back, alien technology, blah blah blah, and the
What a
origin.
stupid symbol.
Well,
When I was seeing the cave and all the symbols, like Esbubito and everything, it made me think of Batman and how Batman has better branding than just a freaking beetle
well, you
on
gotta remember.
everything.
Well, so there's the white Blue Beetle, Ted Cord, who we don't really see, but we see his base, and it's pretty much a guy who couldn't actually get the Blue Beetle because he wasn't worthy. So he made his own version, and he's a billionaire like Bruce Wayne, but he's like uncreative and boring, and his wife hates him or something. I don't know, but he's not very creative. He's like from like the 70s, 80s, I guess, years or earlier.
Yeah, I don't. That's one thing that I would say about this film. This film needed more exposition on the Blue Beetle itself and what it is, because all they said, yeah, it comes from space. It's an alien thing. So yeah,
So they had
that's not a good explanation.
I feel like they did like a little like run through explanation like, towards the beginning, like showing like how it landed on Earth and like the Egyptians. It wasn't really like a. It showed pictures, like, I guess, like the
Yeah.
Egyptians had it, like a cat had it or something. I don't
No,
know.
it was the Aztec people, really, that had it. I think
Yeah,
on the drawings.
on their those temples.
Hieroglyphics.
Yeah. That's the word. Hieroglyphics. I'm not good at Spanish. My Spanish isn't very well.
It's not a
Sorry.
Spanish word, stupid.
Yeah. So they kind of do like a rundown of it appearing on Earth, and like before it went to Earth, it crashed through a planet. So we assumed it has the power to destroy planets. It's pretty much Frieza. It gets to Earth, goes on to people, and we see it throughout time, and then we get to like this place and this lady, like they're excavating an old Aztec place, and she's like, "This is it." And there's this scientist, and she's like, "Come here, Sanchez," and he's like, "That's not my name." Here's the thing: she's white. He's clearly Spanish, and she's like, "Sanchez, come here, Sanchez." He's like, "That's not my name." It's a big build up throughout the movie. For
You know why
hilarious.
she calls him Sanchez? Because his name is like Rodrigo Martinez de la Mar de la Cruz. And it's just easier to call him Sanchez.
Venus.
And he,
And
re- and he responds too.
I mean, it's Susan Sarandon, bro. As soon as I say, I'm like, yes, I love her. I love Susan.
She can call me Sanchez any day. So
at that point, he's like, she knows the name Sanchez. That's good enough for her.
Yeah, you know what? She's the character I most feel sorry for because she's the only white lady surrounded by a bunch of Mexicans. Yeah, she has no kindred spirits. Where's her people at, bro? Like, she's just surrounded by a bunch of
niece.
Mexicans. I feel bad for her.
her niece.
That her niece is Portuguese.
Half.
Brazilian.
Yeah, she's from
half.
Brazil.
She's half
Brazilian.
white. She's half white though. You saw
And
the
half-
first time. Remember the first time we see her sitting in the room at the house. Her legs aren't crossed over; they're spread wide open, and she looking like she about to start a fight. That's her white side.
Well, you know what? I'm so sick of this new age movies trying to push minorities. Nobody's white anymore. What happened to the good old times when the main character was white, the wife was white? Those were the good times.
But this
Now everybody's a minority. Either black, they're Asian, or they're Mexican.
So remember the general she was talking to at her party? I was like, oh look, a black guy. And then when the first time they go to like the office place, there's a lesbian black lady. I assume she's lesbian. She's wearing a suit. My bad if she's not. And then a fat black guy is behind her, and they got a white lady at reception, and she doesn't know. So the guy's name is Jaime
Reyes.
Reyes.
Mhm.
And he's like, "Hi, I'm Jaime Reyes." Well, hello, Jamie, or something. They had every white person be ignorantly racist, even though he just said his name was Jaime. She completely changed it. She butchered it.
Yeah, that whole beginning of the film is setting up his ordinary life with his family. And his family is very loud and Mexican and annoying. And
I felt like I was a kid again.
I'm Latino, bro. I said I would turn this into a dumpster fire. I did not like this movie. Es una basura de
Bro,
película.
you were
Okay?
singing the whole time. You were singing the whole movie.
He's like the song.
Despacito.
He's like, I want the movies that does not show the people that I already see day to day.
What are
I'm
you,
sick and
Ash?
tired of those people.
What
I
are you,
want
Ash, man?
people.
Bro, I already have to deal with loud ass family members in real life. I don't want to see that in movies too.
Bro.
Like this is supposed to be my escape from reality. I don't want to see it in a movie.
Bro, you're literally turning into Ash. You know that, right?
Bro, I'm telling you, I hate all these brown people. Okay, to that part I'm gonna cut out.
But you literally, the whole movie, every single song, you were like, "Oh my God, it's Mariah Carey, la 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 la, Shakira,
Right.
Shakira." Look, like,
No, dude. Let me tell you something. It's because they use a lot of Puerto Rican reggaeton songs, and they use a couple of them that are really like oldies from the '90s here, and they're good songs that I grew up listening to. And they use a lot of Mexican music too. They use cumbia. They use Selena. Yeah, I like the music in this movie. I actually liked it.
yeah, we know, we could hear you the whole movie.
Bro, the thing is that they never research. They just look for old nostalgic Mexican songs, and these songs show up, and they were like, "Let's put it in the movie."
They literally went to your YouTube channel and saw what videos you liked. They're like, okay, let's
They
see.
were like, "Oh, he cried in that video." Okay, let's.
So we're gonna just kind of rush through the beginning because it's not really important except for one part. So
Well, most
boring.
it's not important. You can rush through everything. What happens?
So the lady eventually she gets the scarab. They excavated the place, and then We go back to Reyes. What's his name?
Amen.
I
Jaime.
mean.
I'm about to call him Jamie. I was like, oh, I'm not like that white lady. I can't do that. Jaime Reyes. So he just graduated college. We find out he's pre law, so he's got to go to law school. But he's visiting his family, and his family's all talking like, okay, we're gonna let him celebrate. Then we'll tell him the news. So he gets there. It's his dad, a little short Mexican man. His mom, a taller Mexican woman. His sister, she's like, how do I say this in a nice way?
The Mexican Aquafina?
Yeah, pretty much. Just not as annoying. Even we know you love her, but her voice is as annoying.
Listen. I'm gonna be straight. I wanted them to hook up. All right. They had a
Nobody
weird.
talking about that. What are you? That came out of left field.
I said
No, why?
because okay. First of all, I'm a degenerate. I admit it. Second of all, I searched the stepsister tag. Okay, and
That's how
they're not
you.
real brothers and sisters. Like in my mind, they're not.
They actually are related. The actors.
No, I just thought they had a weird flirty chemistry. It didn't feel like a brother and sister relationship, at least for me. It felt more like flirty. So that idea just popped
You
into
don't
my
flirt
head.
with your sister.
No, I hate my sister.
So his sister, and then we have his grandma or Nana, who
I
pretty
hate
much.
it too.
So her, we find out more about her later, but pretty much she speaks only Spanish. And
Hmm.
then we have the uncle George Lopez. I actually enjoyed him in this movie. I'm not a George Lopez fan. I find him very cringy, but I enjoyed him in this movie.
I would say, George Lopez for me is a weird one because I'm kind of indifferent towards him. I think I side more with liking him than not liking him because his stand up is actually not bad. It's way better than Joe Rogan and a lot of other like awful
Bro,
comedians.
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
it's so easy to be better than Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is dog.
no, I know, but I'm trying to say that his stand up is actually from the Latino comedians. He's better than Mencia. He's probably there's not a lot of them actually. He's one of the few ones. I like him more than
Gabriel
Gabriel
Iglesias.
Iglesias too.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Fluffy.
In terms of his acting and his movies, I'm not a huge fan, except for the Spy Kids one. That one was cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like when I think of him, I don't even think about the George Lopez show. I think about everything else he's been in. Like it's not anything I would actually like. I like him in, but this one was different. He just felt right for some reason. Like his comedy style wasn't off-putting for me.
it wasn't enough pudding, I'll give you that. But it was at the same time, it wasn't too funny either. He was this. Here's the thing about this movie that no character in this movie had any depth. Literally, none of them had any depth at all.
Agreed.
They were very superficial characters. They were reactionary characters. Like the Mexican family, they're very reactionary and very loud, but they're not funny. You don't see their depth as a person or anything. They're just
The only
loud.
thing you see is like the funniest part is anytime there is a scene where they're trying to show it off as a depth, they would have like the dad say something in Spanish with no subtitles. So people would be like, he must have said something like something really meaningful. And that's why everything is working. But in reality, whatever he's saying is not even meaningful at all. It's just that most people can't understand it. And they're
Yeah.
like, okay.
You know what? Speaking of that, so Rock is our resident translator. Terrible translator, first of all.
Dude, I translated.
That like the guy speaking only Spanish, grandma speaking only Spanish. We're like, what's he saying? He's like, he's saying
No, dude,
familia.
it's because they're saying what they're saying in Spanish is just in between words, like we can do this or like let's fight. Little short sentences like that. They're not really saying anything important in
It took
Spanish.
you 10 minutes to translate.
Yeah, anytime we ask like, "Hey, Rob, what the fuck are they speaking?" He's silent. He's not even there. He's mentally checked out. He's like, "This movie is trash. I'm out. I
And
don't want to hear
then,
them speak."
and towards the end, he couldn't even understand them. He was like, I don't speak this language. How do you expect me to know?
Because it
Like,
was
you're
Portuguese.
literally, bro, you're our resident translator. Okay, you should know
Like,
all of
bro,
this,
I don't know all the languages, all right?
bro. That's why you're here. Okay, all the Latin languages. You said when you fill out your application to join us, that you said you could do it all.
You have said you're gonna be the resident Latino.
No, but they were saying very like in between words, like animo, mijo, which means you just cheer on, bro, or like continue, son. It's little words like that they said in Spanish, and that was it.
There was one where the grandma said "pencha madre."
Yeah, that was like show them the pincha madre or something like like go kick his ass. Basically, it translates to that. And one thing that I would say though is that George Lopez kept calling his nephew Cabezon, right? That's his nickname for it. Um, Cabezon translates to big head, which he did have a big head because of the stupid haircut that he had. So that nickname was appropriate. And
Speaking of,
they also call him Flaquito, which means skinny. That was the only nicknames
I'm,
that
I'm
they have
pretty
for
sure
him.
they're talking about his dick. Like we saw his dick like 7 times in this movie. I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about.
It's
But
too bad he didn't use it on his sister. I mean, that's real family love right there, bro. They're talking about family love all the time, and they're not hooking up. Come on.
anyways, the Jaime, we did also realize he looks exactly like Ash.
Ash,
Yes.
Ash, for real, you do look like you look like a little like him. You do.
Bro,
There's something in the
thing was
face.
that his hair was like mine when I tried growing up. That's how my hair were.
See, you should have kept it that way. Long hair, it works, man. Like this dude pretty
But yeah.
much.
So yeah, the whole thing is that the little what Brazilian girl is against the Victoria Court Corporation,
So
making it into like a weapon or something like that. So she
so
steals it.
the Cord Corporation, Ted Cord, the original Blue Beetle, his sister now owns the company, and she's trying to get the Blue Beetle scarab, the alien technology. But the daughter, who knows her dad was Blue Beetle, is trying to take it away from her because she knows her aunt will use it as a weapon. That's the premise of the whole movie.
What's wrong with being a weapon stealer? Like
Hey,
people need weapons.
because her dad didn't want to do weapons, so she's
Yeah.
like, "What
It's
is
so
that?"
stupid.
I don't want my company to become a weapon company. That's for Tony Stark.
Pretty much. So he.
No, but you know what? At least with Iron Man, he was personally affected by it because he got hit by one of his missiles from his own company. Like that makes you turn things around at least. But here it's like this like moral crusade, like, no, we can't make weapons, bro. Make weapons and get your money. Like it's just another it's just another thing that you manufacture. I don't know why they had to load it up morally so much.
Iron Man built this in a cave with
They loaded up
sand.
No, the thing is that they loaded up morally, and then you hear America bombing all these places. Like, bro, shut the fuck up. What are you telling?
Yeah, but that's the whole thing that she steals the Blue Beetle and then she's trying to get away with it, but they
Well,
lock the place
first
down.
of all, she robs Sanchez, whose name we still don't know yet. But she robs him. She pickpockets him. Steals his keys. Takes off all, like, she used a disguise. She takes it all off. Steals his burger. Puts the scarab in it. He comes back for his lunch. His food, half his food's gone. And he realizes that the scarab's gone too. And
Yeah.
then, so before all that happened, Jaime, who needed a job once he found out his dad had a stroke, he lost his job, and they're about to be kicked out of his house. So he starts working with the sister who Rock wants them to have intercourse. And they're at this big and she works for Nancy Cord, or whatever her name is, the Aunt Cord. She works for cleaning their house. So they're just there cleaning, and she's like, I'm going to go use their toilet. And he's like, but there's a servant's toilet. She's like, no, I use normal people toilets. And pretty much that toilet must be soundproof because she can't hear anything happening outside that door. Because pretty much, whatever, the aunt and her bodyguard, what's his name? Charmelax? Caramel?
Carapolax or some stupid name like that.
He's a Spanish guy with a sad backstory. We find out, but he's her
His
bodyguard.
was just like a montage of like 30 seconds. That's all.
Yeah, it did not make me care for him.
And
Yeah.
hey, I liked him. He looked like a traditional Mexican man. He worked, but yeah,
Yeah, so the whole point is that Jaime defended the girl, the Brazilian girl, against her aunt,
and he
and
got
and he lost
fired.
his job. Yeah,
And
and not
his
only does
sister,
he lose his job, he got his sister fired too, and they're
no,
losing the house.
literally, no, literally, if she just listened to the people screaming outside the door, she would have kept her job.
Yeah, she just flushed and was like, and didn't even just like, okay, you can flush,
She
you
started
can
screaming. She was
No,
like,
you
I just took a massive dookie in that toilet. That toilet stopped up. Let's get out of here. And then she's like, oh.
yeah, she could have just been like, oh, I was just cleaning the toilet. They would know. They're fucking
Yeah.
dumb.
But she literally made it so dramatic. She's like, she started farting while she left the door. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I wouldn't go in there for 10, 15 minutes, bro. My N-word. Yeah, yeah. And then she turns and sees the aunt.
And the thing was that the white lady, she didn't just fires her. She calls her a toilet. And you toilet, you're fired too.
Like, there's a, we're not sure if she's racist yet, but she's definitely,
He's not racist.
she's special.
All right, he's not racist.
So yeah, they get fired.
Yeah, but the point is,
and
he got himself fired, and his sister fired.
And then, but when they're waiting for the
So
Uber
yeah,
to pick them up,
the other girl feels bad. Feels bad.
she's like, "Give me your
Yeah.
number. You can come by tomorrow to Court Towers. I'll see if I can get you a job." And then after she robs them of the scarab, security's coming. Jaime's chasing her down, like, "Yo, bitch, you said you're gonna give me a job." I said, "Bit, calm down." And then she's like, "Okay, protect this with your life. Don't open it." And she gives her the food with the scarab in it. We go back to
No,
their
he
house.
was like he was like, hey, mami, me prometiste un trabajo.
Hey,
Ah, ¿qué pasa,
mami.
cabrón? ¿Dónde está mi trabajo?
Hey, cupcake.
Yeah.
So they get it. So he brings it to his house, and pretty much his family is like, "Open it. No one's gonna know." So they open it. The daughter takes it out, and the sister, and she's like throwing it back and forth with George Lopez. They're laughing, having fun, and then when Jaime touches it, it starts turning into a scarab, and he's like, "I think it likes me." This was a cool part. It attacks his face. Everyone's screaming. It starts climbing around his neck, goes into his back, and then it goes downwards. And we assume it went up his booty hole, which everyone assumes in the movie. And he denies, but it was pretty descriptive. And then it appears through his back, kind of fused into his skin, and he like latches up to the ceiling with the claws from a beetle holding him up. And it's a cool transformation moment.
No, I would say it's one of the highlights of the film, honestly.
Oh yeah,
That first transformation.
It's
It's in the trailer too. I remember seeing it in the trailer. Most of the good scenes in this movie are in the trailer.
Yeah, that is true.
I didn't see the trailer for this. Y'all know I don't watch trailers anymore.
Oh yeah. We forgot the great chaos. Trailers are beneath him.
Hey, blame Adam Sandler.
Yeah, but that whole transformation was
That is
cool.
true.
It was kind of like dark a little bit. It was like kind of eerie,
Yeah.
kind of creepy, but it was pretty cool.
And then he goes flying through the ceiling eventually.
And then it goes into that cliche scene where somebody's learning their powers to fly, and they're like, "No, what's happening? What's happening?" And it wasn't funny. The main character of this movie, he's kind of bland. He's just kind of there, like a reactionary character. He doesn't have a lot of personality
I think
to him.
you said it best. Like they didn't give anyone any like time
Depth.
to have a personality depth. Yeah.
They
Like,
didn't.
All they did was just be there and talk about how family is important. Be loud,
La Familia.
la familia.
I think the
Mhm.
problem was they have too many people that they kind of focused
Not
on
just
the
that,
story
but
this
the
early.
story was not even there. It was just like, oh, they want some shit. This dude has that shit. Now they are going after this dude to get that shit. They They touch his family. Dude is like, no family, no suit, no life. Family is everything. And
Yeah,
then they
Yeah,
fight.
bro.
and then
Encanto,
Vin,
Encanto did a way better job transmitting the whole family message
it's
than this.
animated. You can't compare animated to some real stuff. Animated always better.
I would say the only scenes that kind of had that charm to them was his dad when he was talking to him. His dad to me seemed like the only
Freedom,
really decent person
bro.
out of all of them.
He
The-
literally he
his dad was the only upstanding person who was like, no killing, no this, no that. The rest of the family were like, we just shout. We just are like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
so he gets his suit. He's learning it. He like cuts a bus in half. Whatever. So he goes back to his house. All his clothes are gone. He's naked. They're trying to figure this out. And eventually, I think like the next night, they drive. He's driving around. He steals the George Lopez's car, and then he sees the niece lady being chased, and then they're getting shot at. Brings her back to their house. They talk. Everyone's like, "Oh, you should have intercourse with our son." And then the sister gets jealous and all that stuff.
Yeah. No,
Eh,
you know what? You know what's weird to me that every time he goes into a suit, he loses his clothes. Like, bro, that's very impractical. Like every time you step
I'm
into a
guess
suit, you're gonna lose your
I'm
clothes.
I'm guessing it. So it comes from within him. So you would think the suit would form underneath the clothes, I guess, right? But I guess it's
Oh,
so hot. It's so hot, like it's like alien technology. Maybe it burns it. I don't really know.
it's very impractical. Like, is there a way that he can
No,
have like some kind of
it's
bodysuit
it's supposed to
so
be
he's not always naked after?
like Johnny Flame, like Johnny Storm. Sorry, like every time he heats up, but he has fire. So I'm
Yeah, but
guessing the
eventually they
suit.
made him a suit that was resistant for it.
He can't even afford to buy his parents a house. He can barely afford an Uber. How's he gonna buy that?
This dude has a degree on law, like pre-law, and he doesn't ever show
He's
any
in debt.
knowledge
He's in
of
debt.
the law.
He's in
bro,
debt. Have
yeah,
you have you not have you not met a lawyer?
that is true. That is true. He's in there, but the way he actually does work is like he never did law. He was just there. He wasted the money,
Yeah.
got the degree somehow, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't go. I
Have
can't get
have
done.
you never met a pre-law student?
No, it's just dumb because they were losing the house, and him with his knowledge of pre-law, he could have said, "I could take this to court, and we could investigate."
Oh
But he
no,
never ever did any of that.
I don't. He can't do anything with pre-law.
Yeah, he has to.
He has to go to law school, but which he couldn't do because his
Yeah,
family's losing the house.
for
He
laws,
could show some knowledge on the
He
subject, a
doesn't.
little bit of knowledge at least.
They have done. I don't think you
for
understand. There's a big difference between pre
law school
graduating
and
or pre law and
Bro,
going to
you don't
law school.
understand. Shut up. You're not a lawyer. You
My
didn't go to college, all right,
my
bro?
sister is literally a lawyer.
No,
bro.
that's your sister. Do we have her here? No.
Listen,
We have his
Act-
dumbass brother instead.
Actually,
Talk
I
about
have
like he knows the law.
I have a special guest. Okay.
Bro, so here's the thing: you have to do 4 years bachelor's, and then you go to law. So the bachelor's that you do is in subject that are not related to law. It's
Yeah.
just a field in which then you would go and study law for. So let's say you do a 4 years in business, and then you go to law. In law, you would learn the rules and regulation and laws and stuff that are related to business. So that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like if you do 4 years in political science, then you would study about international relations and international laws and then become a lawyer for that.
You gotta
So
realize
that
how big of a scam it is because
yeah.
you gotta do like 10 years.
Yeah, like you can just fucking go to law school and learn that shit. Why the fuck do you have to do the fucking bachelor's in something for which you would then apply the law for?
Like obviously, if you're doing it, good for you. But you
It's
know
waste. Yeah.
you're spending a lot of time racking up the debt.
Nah, bro, you know.
If you got the money for it, that's great. But if you don't,
Don't do it.
you're good. Do it, but you better find a job quick. You better be really good. You better be
You
Matt Murdock, okay?
I would do like the Good Will Hunting guy. I just get a library card and I just say like
Jin
all of
Lee.
my education, I just spend it on a library card and no more than you, bro. How do you like them apples?
So, So he literally, if he had gone to like a local lawyer, they couldn't afford it. They could have barely afford an Uber. So,
They were not that poor. Come on, bro. They had a nice house.
well,
And
uncle had a nice car, and he was
yeah, the truth.
smart.
Yeah.
But they literally, I don't think they would have done anything, and all their neighbors just simply didn't care. Like he's lucky he bagged a billionaire. He better not mess it up because if he does, they're done.
Okay, right. So at this point, the suit activated. He went on a ride for it. He
Yeah.
tried to make some funny jokes. It wasn't landing because the guy sucks.
So
He ripped the boss in half, like you said. We kind of see his powers a little bit, which are cool. The Blue Beetle's powers itself are cool, but then, right, he loses the suit, and then they go back with the girl, and she says, "Oh, we need to find a key that's inside the building, so we
and
need to go
this is the
back."
this is when we find out the uncle's like a genius who just for some reason never went to school.
I
I guess
didn't
because
like
because
that,
of
bro.
family.
Yeah, I didn't like it that all of a sudden he's like a capable character. This is supposed to be regular people. His
Yeah,
uncle on
I don't
this
think you
point,
understand. Regular people are geniuses sometimes, and they don't because of family. They don't do all the school stuff. But his grandma, Nana, or his mom, always let him do that stuff at home. That's why he has had it already.
yeah, he had this machine called a Chapulín, which is a reference to a Chapulín, Colorado.
Like
They
you,
show it
you were like you were like naming
on
the
the movie.
episode. You were quoting it bar for bar. Like it was crazy.
No lie, this is something I gotta give to Mexicans. El Chapulín Colorado is a great ass show. It's better than most Puerto Rican shows. I'll give him that. It was a variety comedy show, and it was this guy, and he played different characters, and his characters had their own segment. And Chapulín Colorado, dude, is so big that Chapulín is in Fortnite. Actually, he's a character in Fortnite, so he's a
I've
very
never
well,
played.
very pop. Yeah, I know you're not a gamer, bro. Right?
I,
Uh,
I I literally am playing Baldur's Gate 3.
yeah, that's not a real game, bro. We're talking about Fortnite. Um,
Uh,
so Chapulín Colorado is a very iconic figure in the Latino America, world, and he's a very great comedian. It was a great show for real.
you were cracking up every time he appeared.
No, dude,
Yeah. So
it's
so
yeah.
his his thing like disrupted the core towers like cameras, and then like that episodes of that came in. So they called back up. They got their little key to get into from the key to find out more about the scarab, and then we see El Chapo, whatever his name was. He's like their main bad guy, who's not bad. The aunt's bodyguard, and he presses a button on his back of his neck, and armor appears. And
Oh
pretty
yeah,
much,
because a little bit before that, she's like, "You gotta go get them," and it shows that this bad guy has transformed his body with mechanical parts.
yeah,
So he's
he's
kind of being like the prototype
he's missing an
for
arm.
that.
He's missing an arm. He's got a robot
Oh
arm
my,
and a robot
yeah,
leg.
yeah, exactly.
We found out later on he stepped on a bomb. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
so
because he's a dumbass. He stepped on a mine, and then that mine blew up his house or something, and it killed his mother. It all happened so quickly in 30 seconds on a flashback.
so they have this little fight scene. Pretty much, the guy's willing to kill. He and Jaime's like, I don't want to kill, but the Scarab's like, let's kill. It's this little battle. You see both suits. Obviously, Jaime's is better, but the human version of it, it's like, what was it called? One man wrecking.
OMAC. The
OMAC.
abbreviation is OMAC. Yeah.
One man army something. OMAC. Yeah. So the OMAC armor, it's not as equal, but it can keep up with the Scarab. And pretty much what the aunt wants to do is take the Scarab and put its information into the OMAC and just kind of sell weapons like that, so it would be more powerful than the Scarab, but hundreds of thousands, millions of them sold. So it'd be like
Right.
a bunch of blue beetles flying around, but they're red. And like I said, it ends with Jaime like, I'm not gonna kill him. Let's just knock him out. And everybody barely escaping because he doesn't kill him.
I would say that fight scene was good. I'll give it that. It was
So
entertaining and it looked pretty good. The moves were cool. and
one
all that.
one thing I didn't notice the first time I saw this movie, there's a lot this it's a lot of green screen. And it's not like that fighting was bad, but they did enough good camera angles to where they could hide some of the stuff. But
Yeah,
where it's just the two of them straight up just hitting back and forth, just flat floating in the air or whatever, it becomes more noticeable.
yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It became like a ironical fight at the
yeah,
end.
yeah. So yeah, towards the end too. So that's a problem with it, but it was a good enough fight, like you said. Yeah, it wasn't bad. But you can't just have them too much time with them, or else it turns into like that Thor Love and Thunder, trash. So that fight goes on. They go to her old house. It's this giant mansion with like flamingos in their door. It's been
Yeah.
abandoned. She's like, yeah, we haven't been here since I was 8. She remembers everything. She presses a button on her watch. A secret like underground stairway appears, and the uncle's like, that makes sense.
Yeah, they found the Blue Beetle layer, the original layer of the Blue Beetle.
So we find out her dad was Blue Beetle. He couldn't ever get used to actual Blue Beetle scarab, so he made his own. He was Bruce Wayne before Bruce Wayne, except he wasn't intimidating at all. He was just a random dude with bad color designs, and yeah, it's a cool little throwback to the other Blue Beetles if you know about them. And then pretty much,
And then after that, after they're done with the layer, she goes. They go to a bedroom, and she trauma dumps him about her childhood. She's like, "Oh yeah, my dad. He went crazy after my mom died." And the main guy was like, "Did I ask? Like, what prompted this? I
no,
never asked you about your
he
family." Like,
was
I
like
don't care.
he was like, I'm your best friend. Tell me more. And she was like, thank you, but BFF. And
No, she's like, no, she likes him. She didn't friend zone him right away. She liked him. She's like,
he's
okay,
a good
because
looking dude. Like no cap, he's good looking.
he's just very bland and very. I don't know. I
He's
mean,
got great
she
hair. Oh, she? Oh yeah, her? Yeah. Like
Yeah,
here,
both of them, honestly.
she's like Zendaya. Like not interesting. They're beautiful people, but they are so boring.
bro.
Ah, fuck Zendaya, bro. I don't give a fuck.
You know what's funny? People like that.
So right, you can
Like,
badmouth Cinderella all you want, but don't curse.
You, you literally cursed the whole beginning. You too.
I-
I'm the only one censoring myself. Let me get this one in. Fuck that nigga. Yo, bleep me out. Yo, bleep this. Cut this part out, bro. Cut this part out. Look. Zendaya is incredibly talented. So is this girl, I'm sure. But
Wait,
they're
but
both
we're gonna
so
say-
bland in the roles. Like, they could have replaced her easily, but it's hard to find a half Puerto Rican or Brazilian, whatever she was, in Hollywood.
Well, literally every character in this movie is replaceable by another actor, and they will still do a bad job because it's not the problem with the actors; it's just the problem with the characters are written. They don't have any depth
Yeah,
to them,
it was
any of them.
it was fast paced, but no time to really, like we said, the only time they really took the time to give you like a simple story about someone was with Charmogul, whatever his name was, and we got his 30-second background story.
No, like this movie, it seems like what they were going for it is like they want to make it a very generic superhero kind of popcorn flick.
Like
So
like
the characters,
like Wakanda.
I would, Wakanda actually does fit this because Wakanda doesn't have a lot of depth either, but it has a little bit more
Yes,
depth.
it has no depth at all. It's
No, but
pandering to a crowd.
the thing
That's
with
all
Wakanda,
Wakanda. Wakanda was just trying to make people see, oh, we got black superheroes. It was not one superhero in that trash movie. Pandering.
Gosh, you know what, Chaos?
I was just taking. I was going off what you were saying. It was
You know what,
pathetic
Chaos?
excuse using race to get tickets. That's what it was. That's what you said, right?
Chaos. I
I was just
relate
using
to
your
you.
words. I was using your words.
No, no, listen. Chaos, I relate to you because we both hate our own people. It's time to watch them.
I
Films.
love black people.
Yeah, right.
Bro, that's the thing that unites us, our hatred for our own
We
people.
hate our own people. That's true.
Look, look. I love black people, but this
Nah,
this
you don't, bro. Anytime something happens, you're like, fuck this.
you cannot tell me Wakanda wasn't like we all know the superhero Black Panther, but you can't tell me that movie wasn't just pandering to black people. It was like the Get Out movie.
I would say Get Out pandered a little bit more than Wakanda. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was pandering. I don't know when it comes to those movies. I would say though. I would say this though. I agree that the Black Panther movies are shit. The crap.
Hey, you said
I,
it, not
I
me. I never said that. You did.
no. I like the second one better than the first one a little bit,
Okay, you're going too far. You're going
but
too far.
even the Black Panther ones had like more culture stuff than this one. This one
This
was
one
just
you literally related to every single thing that popped up in this movie.
I
You're like, that's
I
my
guess I did
childhood.
in a weird way. And the music, it's because they use music and TV shows that are related to the Latin America culture.
Like you said, this
But
guy.
I don't really think they showed any depth with the whole family thing.
No,
It
no.
didn't land or anything.
It was too quick. That's the problem. It happened too quick, and then they just immediately bounced to something else. There wasn't any time to process. Like
And
even
honestly, I didn't like how involved the family was. Like I didn't want the family to be involved in the whole film and fight
that's that's one of
alongside
the
of him.
that's one of the problems I have with what is it the Defenders on the Netflix one that all these sidekicks are somehow beating up the bosses. It makes no sense. I agree with you there. Like
It's just,
the grandma is like a murderer, as we find out. I guess she's got history. She's got the most kills in this movie. The
he's a
sister,
former revolutionary.
yes,
We later can come to know.
the sister, she's pretty useless overall. But
She is.
she got
She's only there to not sleep with her brother, disappointing everybody. We're all disappointed about that they didn't sleep together, right?
no,
Right?
no. The mom didn't really do much. She was just there for emotional
You
support.
said you would rather sleep with the mom.
I
Yeah, you would
would.
right. You would sleep with the mom instead, bro.
I
Come
would.
on.
She's beautiful. But actually, like Chimichanga's mom was better. And then the uncle, he was the funny sidekick guy who saves the day. Like it made sense. And then the dad was, as we're about to get to, the sacrifice that unites everybody. All the stuff at the Ted Kord's house. Eventually, you said they had that cry together, and eventually they hear like there's people like a helicopter flies over, and they're like, "Where's it going?" And Jaime's like, "It's going to home." So he's like, "How do I use my suit?" And eventually, he just jumps off the roof, and the suit has to protect him. And pretty much the uncle.
Another scene from the trailer. That's another scene from the trailer where he tries to jump and it doesn't work. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be comedic, but it wasn't funny, honestly.
I wasn't because the suit should protect it. Well, I guess like oh yeah, the longer he's with the suit, the more their brains synchronize. It's a symbiotic creature, so the more he uses it, the more the suit tries to actually help him. So he doesn't have full control, but they're becoming one. And eventually he
I was
fight.
trying
Go there.
I was trying to draw a parallel between okay, because you know how Marvel basically rips off every DC superhero and they make like a counter version of it.
Well,
Like they have
look. You know I'm Team DC, but they both do that.
yeah, right, but I was thinking of what would be the parallel superhero to Blue Beetle because he seems like he's a mix. He seems like a mix of Venom with the symbiote and the power suit of Iron Man, and I don't know, but he's not He's like a mixture.
No, it's not really Iron Man because it's not a suit; it's its skin. So it'd be Venom.
Yeah, but he kind of has the powers of like Iron Man. So he seems like a mechanical suit.
Well,
You know what I mean? It's
it's,
like
it's literally not a suit. It's the actual scarab. It's just a metal thing instead of like Venom's goo or whatever, black goo. That's why it looks like that. The scarab is metal, so it's just a scarab skin. Like
what would be the Marvel equivalent of the Blue Beetle?
we literally just said Venom.
Do you think it's just Venom? I think it was like Venom mixed with Iron Man. What do you think,
Yeah,
Ash?
kinda.
I,
Because the thing is that it's embedded in him, kind of like a technology thing, and because it forms a symbiotic relationship, so that would be kind of like Venom. So both of them.
bro,
It's like Jarvis, Iron Man plus
Yeah,
Venom.
he's poor. He can't be Iron Man.
No, no,
I
no.
imagine
We're not talking about the rich part. We're talking about
Jesus
the
Christ.
technology.
Iron Man was never poor. Like never. He was
Literally.
born. I don't think Iron Man knows what a Mexican is.
There may not have actually been one in any of his movies.
Yeah, technically, we never saw Iron Man talk to a Mexican.
there is white people. There's his black friend
And white people again.
and aliens.
Yeah, and then a white kid. He didn't. Oh, he never talked to the Asian kid.
No, he
That
didn't.
Yeah, he only
Spider-Man's
talked with.
friend. He didn't talk to Zendaya either.
Yeah,
Is Iron Man racist?
probably.
Let's just end it there.
It's a few people.
Actually, in the second Iron Man movie, he shook hands with a half Caucasian, half Native American woman.
But he didn't know that the half was Latin American, so then he washed his hands.
He saw what he used his technology to see her race, and he was like, "Ugh, I'm gonna use my nanotechnology soap."
Okay, so where were we in the movie?
So he's chasing to his house, and then we get to his house, and you hear like the security people that work for the Cords showing up. Like, we're looking for Jaime. The family hides. They break into the house. They're all in like a closet. They take them out to the front, and they see they're just guards everywhere, aiming guns at them. They're all down on their knees, and the aunt is like, I don't see Jaime there. I wonder where he is. And then the Nana just looks up to the sky, and then you see Jaime flying in. He takes out a bunch of them, and they're shooting at him. He's bulletproof. So the aunt's like, okay, aim for the family. And we see some more stuff for the Blue Beetle. He's got like shields that can work. Everyone always aims up for the heads. They never aim for feet. So it works, obviously. And then he goes on the offensive, but he doesn't try to kill them. He's taking them out one by one. And then
Yeah, he's kind of having fun with us a little bit now.
And then he's telling his family to run away. And then the Chimichanga guy shows up, and we get another fight between them. It's more like a distraction. Or no, he's on the ship. Sorry,
Yeah.
and he's aiming the hook to capture him, and the family's running away.
The claw.
Yeah, the claw. And then like the scarab's like, "Hey, Jaime, we don't kill anymore, but your family's in danger." He turns around to save him. The dad gets hit with the back of a gun, knocked to the ground. The daughter's crying, "Papa!" So and then Jaime stops the guy that hit him, and then he's walking away, and he hears her screaming because he had a heart attack they mentioned earlier in the movie. So now he's having cardiac arrest, and we see it from the scarab. It's like cardiac arrest. So Jaime's trying to catch him, and then Chimichanga fires the claw at him. It captures him, and he can't do anything. Like, his suit no longer works. It shuts the suit off. He's just a normal person, and he's watching his dad die. His mom's hiding. His nana's hiding.
Dude, that part was so dumb because What's happening is somehow when they enter the house, they set up a candle so that the house starts to come on fire,
Oh yeah,
right?
it got knocked over when they were chasing them off. Yeah.
Right. So at one point, the sister's running away, and she just falls into the ground for no reason. I bet because she's fat and clumsy. She just falls into the ground, and she doesn't get up. She just stays on the ground saying, "Papa, papa, papa."
And
Like, bro, up
this
the ground and keep running.
this dude older than Nana, he's had heart issues, and he's like, "I got my daughter," and he gets knocked the f out.
Yep.
And pretty much, he's dying there, he's smiling at her like, "It's all gonna be
He's the
okay."
Uncle Ben. He's the Uncle Ben of this movie, bro.
He's like, "Don't worry, it's not your fault. I mean, if you hadn't fallen, I would have gotten into safety, and I wouldn't have been gotten head trauma just now. But it's not your fault, honey. We'll be okay." And she,
You know what? This reminds me how racist you are, Chaos. Because in the movie, even though he was talking English, you're like, well, translate. I'm like, dude, he's talking in English. It's like, I don't understand Mexican.
look, it's a very look. He has a very strong accent. Like so, it was very confusing. Like I'm not, my Spanish is still elementary, so it's very difficult for me to understand, especially with the strong accent. The words get confusing.
Yeah, you learn enough Spanish just to catcall Latinas. To go like, hey, mami, ¿tienes
Oh yeah,
novio?
we missed the part where the uncle George Lopez, every time he talks to the girl, the daughter of Ted Cord, he's like, "Hey, cupcake. Hey, beautiful, do this." And eventually she gets that back at him. But he's the only one to do that. He's the only one that's like that with her. But yeah, so daddy dies. The daughter's
The house
crying.
is on fire. The house is done.
Yeah, the house is
Even though
on
they were gonna
fire.
lose it, now they burned it down.
And Jaime's been captured. And he's crying while he's being dragged away.
Bro, I hated the scene that he was captured so much because I'm like, shit. Now I'm gonna have to sit through like 40 minutes of this movie. I thought this movie was almost done, but now he's captured, and now I know everything that has to happen. His family has to unite to rescue him back, and it's gonna be so predictable. It's just gonna like prolong this stupid ass movie.
So they show him captured, and pretty much Sanchez isn't there. Is there, and he's like, "Look, doctor, we're gonna kill him if we take all this information." And she's like, "Do it." And he's like, "Okay, whatever. You pay me enough. I don't care. Call me Sanchez." So, and they're gonna put all the Scarab's information into Chimichanga. And he's just sitting there like, "Okay, let's do this." And he like drops one of his some necklace he has. As we find out later, it's a picture of his mom and him as a kid. And she's like, "I'll save it for you," and she puts it in her pants. And then, so the family and the daughter, they go back to her dad's place, and they get the Blue Beetle ship. And the daughter, the Spanish daughter, not the Ted Cord's daughter, spray paint something on the front of it. I don't know what it was. They get weapons. They fly over to whatever island they're holding them in. Pretty much none of them know how to fly, and they crash the ship in there, and they just start killing people in the Blue Beetle ship. Like one of them, like they literally step on one of them with the Blue Beetle ship claws, and it goes in his stomach, and they're just stomping him on the ground and swiping the body away. Like it's murder. Like some of them are like, "It's my first day. I'm only here as an intern," and they're murdering all of them. Like the Blue Beetle had poison gas, I think. Terrible sight. But they find a way into the underground base, and the two daughters, both try to find him. And pretty much the rest of the uncle, the mom, and the nana, they stay in the ship for now. So they're looking through there, and we get to Jaime again, and he's like dying, and then we go into his brain, and his dad's back talking to him. It's like he's seeing his dad as he's leaving this plane, like his spirit's leaving.
Yeah.
And his dad's like, "With great power comes great responsibility," but in Spanish.
He
And
did, yeah, he did. It's different because it's in Spanish,
yeah,
right?
literally. And he's like, "You have to live. It's not your time, but it is my
You know
time
what?
to go."
I would say that whole scene uh, I liked it, but I didn't like the setting of it. Like
Well,
when they showed this
well,
world, it was basically his house with a bunch of candles.
yeah.
Uh,
But
and,
it's supposed to be his world because they're sucking away the scarab energy, which would kill him. So everything's crumbling around him in his mind. That's why everything was disappearing like that.
I did like that scene. Okay, you know what? I'll take it back because it's not that bad.
But
Because
they,
it starts with his home. It started with his home, which is a place that he knew and he grew up. I get it. His dad's there to guide him a little bit, and then after that, it kind of goes outside and it showed that he's in space. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And that he's got to connect with the Blue Beetle,
And
and his
I think the best part about it, they gave the scene time. It wasn't rushed because it was
yeah,
like maybe
yeah,
five
yeah,
5 minutes, and
yeah, yeah, exactly.
it was slow paced. But it's like so you see the real world, he's dying, but in his mind, it's slow paced because obviously it's different there. And his dad's getting time to kind of talk to him, comfort him, and he's seeing that this is his final goodbye to him. And he sees the scarab as everything's crumbling around him.
Yeah, I like that
It's,
scene. It's like an anime moment kind of
yeah,
scene where like, oh, I gotta do this. I
yeah,
liked it. It was kind of hype.
And
yeah.
then he turned into an anime character.
He turned into Ichigo.
Nah, bro. Goku. You know when Goku goes,
man,
ah, I'm
I
gonna
man,
do.
would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man, fluff
that's true.
Goku. Goku sucks. Dead be dead. This kid's a good dad.
Oh, he has the best dad. I would say that dad was amazing because he's the kind of dad who's like, come on, bro, you can do this, son. He's a very positive vibes kind of dad.
He's like, I just died. What you can do anything, son.
And even at the beginning when he was talking with his son, he was like, all of this is accomplished. This is all a part of the journey. And which is true. I kind of view life that way too. It's like all of this is like it's just all part of a journey, our own personal journey, you know. Uh, but we don't know where it's gonna lead us. And then at the end, when they have that moment, he says to him in Spanish like, uh, he basically says to him in Spanish, "This was your destiny. This is who you were meant to be. You were chosen for a reason, basically." And that's where he gets all the motivation. And he syncs up with the
So before he
with the
actually,
scarab.
so the transformation is complete, and the other guy unplugs himself, and he starts transforming into the new like super chimichanga. And then during that time, Jaime slowly starts to reawaken, but the suit's not working because that's how the old power's stuck off.
Yeah, it's a
And
reboot. Yeah.
so pretty much, Sanchez now is like, look, everything I did was wrong. It wasn't worth the money. I'm gonna let you escape. And then the sister of Ted Cord, the aunt, is like, what are you doing, Sanchez? And he looks at her. He's like, my name isn't Sanchez. My name is Diego Montoya. Or something like that. I don't remember what his name was. I'd call him Sanchez too. And pretty
Why
much,
you call him Montoya, bro? You know who that is?
yes.
You killed
My
my
name.
father.
I mean, she probably did. Let's be honest. My name is
No,
Machete.
one of his last name was Cruz. So Ash said
I thought it started with
he's
an
related
H.
to me.
I thought it started with an H.
No, his last name is
Yeah.
Cruz.
Oh, let's find out his name. Hold on. Let's go. Okay, Sanchez from Blue Beetle's name. Blue Beetle.
Rogue's brother.
Sanchez. Sanchez's real name. Well, that's his actual name. Hold on. Jose Francisco Morales Rivera de la Cruz. Okay. Yeah. I'd call him Sanchez as well. That's a long
Bro,
name. He's
let
like,
me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You just said his name, and I instantly forgot it, and I want to call him Sanchez again. He's right, like Sanchez.
look, maybe she wasn't racist, okay? Look,
Yeah.
it's a,
No, if someone else have done it, we could have told like she was not racist, but since you did it, she was definitely racist.
You got jokes. I'm not racist, okay? So Jose, he's like, my name is Jose Francisco Morales Rivera de la Cruz, and she's like, oh my God, Sanchez, what are you saying? And he turns to the door and looks at Jaime, and he's like, run, run! I'm Jose Francisco Morales, and then like a fist comes through his chest, and we see blood
No,
everywhere.
he's like, I'll be alright. Splat. He dies. It's probably the most impactful death aside from the father dying in this whole movie.
And Jaime's just looking at him like, you okay? You okay over there? And his suit doesn't work. And then like you see fist prints start coming through the door, and he's like, oh, I should leave. So he's running away. Blah blah blah. He gets to the ship, back to his family with the sister and with his sister, and then he's like, okay, where's my new rich billionaire girlfriend? And she's like, I lost her down there. Oops. And he's like, fine, I'll go get her. So he goes back, finds her, and then Chimichanga, Super Chimichanga, attacks him, and we get to the final scene, the final fight scene. Super Chimichanga versus Blue Beetle, whose suit now works again.
Versus
And
Blue Burrito.
the problem
He's
with
Super Chimichanga. It's Super Chimichanga versus Blue Burrito. That's the last fight. And I was like, go ahead, Ash. Were you gonna say something?
No.
Hello? Okay, my bad. Okay.
I had to Google his name. Conrad Carapax. Same thing, Chimichanga. So
Conrad.
they have this final fight. Blah blah blah. It's all right. The problem, like I said earlier, with one of the other fights, when it's just the two of them and they're flying through the skies, it just looks so animated. I know
It does.
I know they have the technology to do better. Like as you know, Marvel has killed it, or they killed it in the past. I don't know about now, but it's expensive. But they have the technology to do better to make it look more realistic as much as possible. But it just looked like a video game, like not a good one. So
I liked it. I mean, it looked all right in terms of look. I just didn't like the concept of it's like two robots fighting. Like I said, to me, it reminded me of Bionicles, a Bionicles fight or something like that.
technically, only one's a robot, but yeah, pretty much Blue Beetle's getting beat up. Then eventually he starts beating him up, and we get to the part where he's the Beetle's like the Scarab is like, Jaime, we do not kill. We are 100% in link. We do not kill. Stop. And he's just punching his face, punching his face, punching his face. He makes a sword. He's about to stab his face. And the Scarab's like, no, I've changed. I won't let you become like I was. And Jaime's crying. And then the
I
guys...
like that actually.
Yeah. And then the guy's like, my name is Diego Montoya. You killed my family. And we see like in the Scarab's like,
No, he's like, my name is Diego. You killed my family. Oh wait, no, I killed my family when I stepped on the land. My bad, brother.
So the Scarab showed him a flashback from his mind when they were stealing the information or whatever, and pretty much he was in the military. He was a little kid with a Spanish mom. And he like came home and like grenades like destroyed our house with her in it. And then like he joined the military and he stepped on a landmine. And then the evil Aunt Cord lady shows up and she's like, well, he's about to die. Let me have him. And she pretty much gave him purpose in life. And he's been working with her ever since.
Yeah.
And then pretty much at that moment he realized, Jaime, you saved my life by not killing me. I'm in debt for you. So he finds the evil lady. Pretty much is like, suicide bomb time. I'ma kill myself and her. And he drags her away into the flames. Jaime runs away with his girlfriend. They get into the Blue Beetle ship. And Ash made a good point. He could fly away because the Blue Beetle can fly. But he literally runs away from the explosion. And he doesn't even fly away at the end. He jumps onto the ship
And he was falling. They had to grab his hand, otherwise
yeah,
he would have fallen.
yeah, like so a big mistake there, but whatever. So the evil lady dies. Caraplax, whatever his name was, dies.
Conrad Royce, he died like a bitch.
And all the heroes fly away. So the next morning, our final scene, the rich daughter who's dating Jaime now, maybe just
Not
butt
really, but
buddies.
kinda.
Well, she's a sugar mama. So she's on the
Yeah.
news like, my aunt's dead. I don't care. We're no longer doing weapons. I killed her to stop this. Everyone's happy. We go back to their house that was on fire. Every single Latino person in the country shows up to their house with food. And they're all dancing, having a
Yeah.
party.
How is that gonna help? I brought over some rice. Like, bro, my house is burned. Let's just eat and have a good time.
And then then the girlfriend shows up again, and pretty much the family is happy to see her. She looks at the George Lopez uncle and she's like, "Your car got destroyed. I bought you a new one, and it's blue." And he's like, "Wow." And she's like, "You like that cupcake?" Because he always called her cupcake, and nobody laughed. And he walked away, and he was like, "Whatever. I got a free car." And then Jaime was like, "Hey, why don't I walk you to your car?" And they go walk off, and he's like, "So where are you going?" And she's like, "I gotta go back home." And he's like, "Why don't I fly you there?" And she looks him in the eye, and she's like, "How are you gonna fly me there?" And he looks at her. They kiss, and then he gets a little morning wood, and his blue Beetle suit starts spiking up his back. And then his family, you hear them cheering, like, "Oh, look at that little boy! He's gonna get some with the billionaire. We're set for life." Oh yeah, and they paid for their family to get a new house. And
Bro, they always were mentioned that show, and I forgot the name of the show.
the cartoon one.
No, no, no. There was this one where a similar plot was there, where like a girl marries a rich dude.
But she's the rich one.
Yeah, but they use it as an example. So whenever that happens, they mention the name of the show, and they even showed it on TV. Ah,
Oh, Maria del Mar, I think it's called. It's a
yeah,
novela.
Maria Maras.
A telenovela, yeah, it's a soap opera. Which is a real soap opera, too, that was pretty famous.
You were telling us the whole movie.
Well, they use a lot of Latino references, dude.
Oh yeah, look, there was this really old Latin show, which used to be like a comedy show, where like the main guy was like a super dumb dude, and his wife is like super ugly, and like she always fights with him a lot and yells at him, and he like they have a milkman who is Chinese, and that milkman fucks his wife, and all his kids look like Chinese, but he's too stupid to understand
Yeah.
that.
What are you even talking
Yeah.
about?
Like that was the show's plot, like him being just stupid. Like he saw his kid next to like the milkman, and he was like, "Oh," and he looks at them and like they look alike, but he's like, "Oh, looks like my milk. The milk that
King,
making my kid look Chinese."
King of the Hill is the same thing with John Radcorn. It's that same thing. That his kid is like Indian, and Dale doesn't know that it's not his kid.
Yeah.
Also, what you were
They should have ended that show with him being like, "I always knew."
Yeah, but basically they kiss, and then the stupid basura porqueria the movie is done, and I'm like, okay, finally, the stupid generic ass movie. Which, by the way, Chaos said it was good.
It
I don't know in
was.
what universe.
I very much
Chachi
enjoyed it.
was better than this piece of shit.
I enjoyed this movie.
Bro, this movie was bad and generic all around.
This movie
Honestly.
was honestly the best movie you've asked us to watch.
Shang-Chi was better, honestly.
Shang-Chi was pandering to a crowd. It was
This is
race
also
baiting.
Bro, this is also race baiting. What the
Well,
fuck?
yeah, this also was race. Look, Wakanda was race baiting. Shang-Chi race baited more than Wakanda. This one had the least amount of race baiting.
Yeah, this one was there just to make people think like Latinos are a bunch of loud people who don't work
I
and
mean,
come here illegally. Bro,
Yep.
this was like a Trump movie. Like, this is the movie Trump will show to Republicans and be like, that's why I'm building the wall.
And
look.
that's why I support it. He was doing God's work.
Look, this movie I very much enjoyed. And I still enjoyed it this time. It wasn't as good the second time around, but I still enjoyed it. But like you said, it had no depth. No depth to any of the characters or anything really in it. And I think the
No.
main problem, like even as we got to like the post credit scenes, Ted Kord's still alive. We're never gonna know about that. And then it's just one of those things with the DC movies. Like there was probably a different ending, but once they announced that James Gunn was gonna murder every single thing that was right about
God bless
DC,
him. God bless him.
I hate that demon. They probably just like, okay, let's just do this ending because I feel like the story changed for
No,
all
you
the DC movies the last 2 years.
James Gunn saw this movie and it's like, okay, I gotta scrap everything. This movie is that bad. I
It
gotta
wasn't
scrap
that bad.
everything DC has planned because this movie sucks.
No, he saw Aquaman and he was like, I gotta scrap everything because this movie sucks.
No,
Aquaman
bro,
2.
you know what? I actually recently saw Aquaman 1 and it was pretty enjoyable.
No,
I didn't
Aquaman
think I
2.
would like it, but I
I
liked
told
it.
you it was I told you it was good. Like
It was way
I
better than this one.
I want a blonde Aquaman, but look, my dude did good.
You
No,
got
Aquaman
you
was
got
actually a good movie.
Aquaman.
Aquaman was actually a good movie. This
I
movie
know.
is crap. It's one of the worst DC movies that I've ever seen, honestly.
Have you seen Green Lantern?
That's true.
Have you seen Green Lantern?
Oh
Yes,
my
I've seen
God.
Green
That will be
Lantern.
my next movie. Okay, don't worry.
No,
No, no,
please.
I'm
I
gonna,
saw it, bro.
no. We
I
can
saw
watch
it.
it again.
Uh,
Is you wanted this?
You know what bothered me?
This wasn't even a bad movie.
No, to me, honestly, it was.
That's because it
For
was.
me, it was bad because,
That's
like,
because you're Latin. Let's be honest.
true,
They called you out on everything.
true,
You were singing the whole.
but
You were
it was
singing all the
generic. It
songs.
was just super generic.
It's pandering. It's race baiting. That's the problem with James Gunn. I know this movie had nothing to do with James Gunn.
He's a baiter.
Look, this movie was
No,
a
no,
good.
dude.
This was a good introduction
No.
into Blue Beetle, though the teenage
No.
one. But it should have been a series, a show, or a series or something. It should have been involved with the Titans.
Yeah, maybe.
If it was involved with the Titans show, it would have been so much better because they would have had time. It would have been less of the family, which we don't care about. It would have been more time
Yep.
for him. He should have been on Titans.
Like this movie, like to me, was just very generic. It barely had any plot to it. It was just like go on an adventure and bring your family along. It just wasn't good. I think this movie would be better
It was Guardians
if
of the
they
Galaxy
had.
3.
That one is a good one, bro. Okay.
It was.
Uh,
That's the worst one.
this movie would have been a little bit better if they had explained a little bit more about the origin or what at least what they know of the origin of like
They
the Blue
literally.
Beetle.
It came from space.
They didn't.
And they're
Yeah,
humans. Like, how are they supposed to know? It came from space. That's all they know.
they could have used the layer of the original Blue Beetle and see like, oh, he had information on this and where it came
He
from or
literally
something
had
like
no
that.
information.
But that's what I'm saying. They could have like added something like that.
He was a broke Bruce Wayne. He had no information on anything.
If this movie, at least for me, this is at least for me. If this movie had more explanation on the Blue Beetle and it had less family time, and the family could still be in the movie and be part of the movie, but not be as crucial to the plot of the movie.
Agreed.
I think this movie would have been a little bit better.
I think
Also,
another
also,
family member should have died.
yeah, I was hoping that Nana died, but you know. Also, if they had made the main character, a little bit, give him a little bit more traits,
Oh,
original traits, I feel it would have been better. Like if he had enjoyed being a superhero more, that would have been better. Because at the
well,
end he kind of enjoyed it,
you gotta
and I
remember,
like that.
it was forced up. This wasn't a choice. It was forced upon him. Literally, it forced itself on him, and then he was pretty much his family was in danger, or he was getting almost killed. So towards the end, he was finally him and the suit finally understood each other. That's what I
Yeah,
heard
and
it
I
say.
like that by the end of it, but they could have developed that midway through the film a little bit and give the main character a little bit more of a personality. He was very bland, very generic main character.
And
If they have
he
fixed,
was naked a lot.
if they have fixed like those three things, this movie could have been a bit better. But overall, I felt that I didn't need to watch this film.
Bro,
That's
you
that's my that's my
look
feeling. Like
now. You can show this movie to your daughter, and she knows she can be a superhero too one day if she wants.
no, I'll give you an example. For example, I haven't seen Shazam right when it came out, and then I saw Shazam, and I liked it.
Yeah,
And when I saw Shazam, I'm like, okay. My feeling was, and when I saw Aquaman 2, it's like, I'm glad I watched this movie. Like
yeah.
I'm glad I didn't miss this. But with Blue Beetle, I'm like, I didn't need to see this movie. And this movie did nothing for me in terms of like for the character and the origin of the character.
I think
Uh,
I truly believe if it wasn't all the Latin pandering, you would have enjoyed it more.
No, because the family. I mean, that's an annoying part of it, but it's the whole pacing and the lack of depth this movie has. It's just like a very
I agree.
like it's like a very rush adventure. You know what I mean? It kind of has that kids adventure tone to it, but there's no real risk. There's only two people that die, and they kind of have to die. There's no like no stakes, no high stakes or anything. Honestly.
I think it
Uh,
would have been great if they killed off the nana, like you said, or the sister.
Yeah, that's another thing this movie could have used. Like higher stakes, like people actually get killed. They get serious about this or anything, but no, it's like everybody's fine, bro. The family's helping, the
Well,
quirky family's helping,
I
and
guess
now that she's a revolutionary, she's holding a machine gun. It's funny, right? It's
I,
not.
I guess Sanchez he died, whatever his name
Yeah,
is.
like I felt, if they ever make a Blue Beetle 2, like I felt I probably
They
should have
won't.
watched that.
They won't because James Gunn ruined everything. But they set it up for Blue Beetle too at the end. How does man? She said the last time she was at that house was she was 8. This is 20 years later. This man been lost for 20 years. What you doing, bro?
You know, I got the same feeling as when we watched Rhinefeld. Was it Rhinefeld, the one with Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt when I watched that movie, I'm like, I didn't need to see this. I would have been fine.
Oh, bro,
Not
Ryan
even
Field,
watching this.
please don't even compare this to Ryan Field. Ryan Field was pain. It was like painful to sit through the whole thing.
That
Here, at
was
least,
that was like an average Nicolas Cage movie.
No, but I had the same
no, the
feeling.
problem was if it was, bro, if it was an average Nicolas Cage movie, it would have been fine. But it didn't even have Nicolas Cage. So an average Nicolas Cage movie, which becomes bearable because of the exposure of Nicolas Cage,
Bro, Nicolas Cage
can't have that.
literally. Look, I'm.
Nicolas Cage was not even there for the most of the
That's what
time.
made it better. That's what made it better that he wasn't
Yeah.
there.
No, fuck no. Bro, most of the time because the scenes where he was supposed to be there and he was not, we have a bland ass
Yep.
beast dude, and to pair with him, we had an obnoxious Aquafina.
Oh, I forgot
No,
he was in that movie.
no,
Why you
no, no, no,
reminding me?
no. I don't agree with that. I was with you until you messed with Aquafina.
Uh,
Aquafina really saves every movie that she's in, bro.
bro, what if Aquafina was a sister in this movie? It would
Ah,
have
I
been
would
the same
have
thing.
I would have loved that so much. I probably would have liked this movie, honestly, if that were the case.
Dad, what happened? Well,
What about you, Ash? Because I know you didn't like this movie. Or what are you gonna say about this movie?
it's better than Shang Chi.
The thing was that this movie had nothing special. The storyline was what we have seen
Generic,
thousands of times.
exactly.
No depth to character, no, like, you would even predict how things will go on. It was kind of like a movie that Disney used to have on TV back in the day, like when we
Yep,
had Disney Channel, and it was like just one movie, and that would be
exactly.
like straight to TV movie that you would watch while doing other stuff.
You must have been watching a different Disney.
No,
No,
Disney had some a lot of.
Don't look under the bed.
No, I'm saying Disney had a lot of crappy movies too. Like, they have good movies for that are straight to TV movies, but they had
Luck of the Irish.
Jesus.
Under wraps.
On the Rap is my shit, bro. I love that movie.
Yeah. You messing with Disney, you messing with all of us, okay? That was my jam.
No, he's right though. This movie has that like that whole family friendly kind of tone superhero to it that
But
those movies used to have, the Disney Channel movies, but it's not as good as those Disney Channel movies, bro.
hey, see, it's one of the problems with a lot of modern day superhero movies. They try to force comedy, which kind of
No,
messes
bro.
up with the story. And this is the case of that too.
The Marvels did that too. When I saw the Marvels, it's like, oh my god, this is like a kid's superhero movie. It doesn't have any high stakes to it. Nothing happens. You
Well, what
know,
about the Eternals?
There was
the Eternals.
nothing funny about that. It was just wasn't interesting. It was meh.
No, I thought the Eternals had an interesting story. Like how the giants are born. Like they basically hatch this like giant entities. They hatch out of planets. I thought it had a cool concept, and it's a concept that it really ties to the whole Marvel universe.
Well,
But this movie doesn't have any of
it's
it.
for what's his name, Galactus and Silver
Right? Yeah.
Surfer. Yeah, that's what it was for. If they ever do that again, I don't know. That's what I was
I don't know
assuming.
if they're ever gonna tackle that again.
Then the movie was pointless.
I have not seen Eternals.
It's not bad, Ash. Honestly, it's better than this one. That's for sure.
It's better than
But it's not
Shang
good
Chi.
either. Imagine Watchmen, but not as good. Like not nearly as good. But it kind of has that tone of like
And it's
Watchmen.
got Selma Hayek,
Yeah, it's got Salma Hayek and a bunch of other people.
like older celebrities who everyone knows.
It's a must watch if you like the Marvel lore. But if you don't really care for the Marvel lore, which I don't think you do, you don't need to watch it honestly. But
So
uh,
so let's go. What would you give your rating for this movie out of 10? 10 being the best, 0 being the worst.
you guys can start. I'll give mine last.
Me personally, I would give this like a 6.2. Like I said, I enjoyed this. It was solid.
Jesus Christ.
What did you enjoy about this? This was so generic.
No, he loved the family part, bro. He was like, this is what a family's supposed to be.
Is this what I was been missing my whole life?
Mama, papa.
Like I said, the first time I watched it, I enjoyed it, and this time it wasn't as good because I was seeing more of the flaws in the effect wise. But still, I enjoyed the story.
Did you enjoy that it was an evil corporation and the developers? Like, what did you enjoy about it, honestly? Because it was kind of generic.
I enjoyed Blue Beetle. I enjoyed the transformation of the suit.
That's cool, yeah.
I enjoyed him fighting the suit to stay himself and not becoming a killer. I enjoyed
That's good too.
I enjoyed the ending part, finding out Ted Cord, the original Blue Beetle, is still alive. That would have been fun.
I didn't care
I
at all
actually-
for it.
George Lopez, I actually didn't hate him. Like he was the part I was looking forward to the least, and I actually enjoyed him in this movie. I thought he was funny and he did his parts well. There wasn't enough for me to dislike about this movie. It was solid. It was like an average movie, maybe a little above average. I gave it a 6.2, right? Like a little above average.
Yeah. What about you, Ash?
I'll give it a 4.2 out of 10. Never gonna.
Never again.
Yeah.
Nobody asked you your opinion, bro.
I did, bro. He's part of this,
No.
alright?
I wouldn't say like, okay, one time watch. You don't have to pay your full attention. So it's kind of like a movie, like if you're with your family, you'll just play it and be like, okay, just get done with it.
I
Like,
would I
if you
wouldn't
have
play this for my family.
if you have like some relatives over who got little kids and you're gonna like you have to put a movie on, you'll just put this on and be like,
You gonna play this?
yeah,
He was hiding a boner.
but they won't understand.
The boys will.
I do that too. Wow, I can be a hero.
Uh, you know what? I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Honestly, as I was watching it, some parts of it, I'm like, I was kind of already making up my mind. Okay, this seems like a 6 out of 10. But what really brought it down for me is that this only fact that I didn't need to see this movie. I could have missed this. That's not a feeling that I get about almost any movie. I really have to dislike the movie to get that feeling that I didn't need to watch this. Like this is something that I would have been fine if I missed it. Uh, like this, I even seen bad films that I'm glad I watched it. Like at least like okay, at least I know what it's all about. With this one, I'm like I didn't need to know any of this, and I would have been fine. So that's why I gave it like a fuck it. I'll give it a 4 out of 10 because he didn't sleep with his sister. That would have made it like a 7 at least.
Okay,
If it would have,
If he would have, this would have been a great movie.
okay, Sanchez, calm down. Okay, look.
So honestly, a 4 out of 10 for me.
Well, Sanchez and Apu, nobody asked you.
Hey, at least you didn't call me Chimichanga.
I still don't know that dude's name. I looked at.